What is up, my friends? It is Friday night's late night news roundup, and you are all very welcome along. Over the course of this video, we're going to be discussing some of the stories that didn't quite make it into tonight's late night agenda, including some late developments. We're going to be talking about Hugo Ekitike, yet more interest in Harvey Elliott. We're going to be discussing some deals that Liverpool may or may not be doing. And of course, we're going to want your opinion. So once you've watched the video, do let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Drop a like on it if you enjoy it. And of course, we would love you to hit that subscribe button. There is quite a bit for me to get through, so I'm going to stop the waffle and get straight to the talking. Right. Christian Falk, in a column for Caught Offside, said that Liverpool could make a move for Hugo Ekitike once the sale of Darwin Núñez is complete. He does go on to say that Chelsea, Liverpool and United all have them on their radar. Now, Kwanzaa, when is he going to make that move to Bayer Leverkusen? Well, Bill believe that he will arrive on Monday, June the 30th, so next Monday, to start the medical and complete the formalities of his move from Liverpool to Bayer Leverkusen. We believe that the release clause comes active in 2027, which is when Virgil van Dijk's contract will be up at Liverpool. So maybe Liverpool are looking at this and think, right, the buyback clause that's in there for the 2027, I think I said release clause, excuse me, the buyback clause for 2027 could become active when Virgil's potentially moving on. If we bring in Mark Gay, he could take that step forward then. And if Kwanzaa has really developed over the 2 years at Leverkusen, maybe Liverpool look to trigger that buyback clause and bring him back in. Let us know your thoughts on that one below. Right, let's get going. So another club has been entered into the mix here for Harvey Elliott. In fact, two other clubs have been brought into the mix for Harvey Elliott. So we've already spoken about Leverkusen. We've spoken about RB Leipzig. We've spoken about Fulham. We've spoken about West Ham, Brighton, Newcastle. Well, now you can add more. Caught Offside's latest report has sent a ripple through Liverpool's fan base, this piece has said, because Chelsea are now a club that are looking at the situation of Liverpool midfielder Harvey Elliott. It's a headline grabber, they say, not least because of the optics involved, with a top six rival attempting to prize away a player once considered one of Liverpool's future cornerstones. Now, for me, I don't know where Harvey Elliott ends up. I'm going to move on to talk about another club that are interested in him in a moment, but let me know what you think happens here. We know he turned down the opportunity to go to Leverkusen. So Leipzig, I'm going to say probably not. But Brighton would be a good move. I could see him working at Chelsea, but would Liverpool want to sell to Chelsea? That much I don't know. We know 40 million quid is the figure that Liverpool want for Harvey Elliott. So let me know in the comments where you think he ends up. For me, I'm going to say Newcastle. I don't have anything on that other than previous interest, but Newcastle or maybe back to Fulham could be two potential options there for Harvey Elliott. Now, let's move to talk about James Pearce, because he's kind of backtracking a little bit on something that he's already tried to poo-poo. So he said initially, Liverpool looked at Blackpool teenager Gabriel Schluter and admired him, but told suggestions that a deal to buy him is either done or is on the cards is wide of the mark. He's backtracked a little bit though, as he's changed that post to say, Liverpool looked at Blackpool teenager Gabriel Schluter and admire him, but told suggestions that a deal to buy him is either done or is even close to being done is wide of the mark. So difference there being the on the cards part has been removed. So again, James Pearce, why bother? That's what I would say, mate. Why bother? The upside of being right about that isn't worth the downside about potentially being wrong about it, especially off the back of the situation where James said that Liverpool aren't actively looking for a goalkeeper, and then a few days later, Georgie Mamardashvili came in. So again, I would say, why? Right, let's talk about this here. So transfer rumour, Merlin R is emerging as a big target for a host of Premier League clubs. The likes of Liverpool, Crystal Palace and Newcastle are all in the mix for the German under-21 midfielder. That comes from Sport Bild. So I know nothing about this guy, but if you think he's good enough, let me know what type of price you think would be worth, and again, where you think he ends up. So just again, Merlin R, spelled ROHL, is emerging as a big target for a host of Premier League sides. Liverpool, Palace, Newcastle and Everton are clubs that are mentioned for the German under-21 midfielder. Right, let's keep moving. So Stuttgart are upset with Bayern Munich over the approach for Nick Woltemade. It's almost like this Florian Wirtz situation all over again. This piece here from Bild said, Stuttgart are upset with Bayern Munich over their approach for Nick Woltemade. They were unaware of any talks taking place and were surprised by the news yesterday. They did not give permission to speak with the player. It seems like Bayern can do what they want in Germany. We've already seen the Dortmund, I think, CEO roll over and say, I would have loved for it to have stayed in the Bundesliga, even if he went to Bayern Munich. What type of basic behaviour is that? So at least here you can see Stuttgart trying to stand up for themselves and say, no, we didn't give permission for Bayern to speak to the player. So let's see if anything comes of that, but it's yet another club upset with Bayern. Didi Hamann, he has tipped Liverpool to beat Manchester United and all the other clubs to the signing of Hugo Ekitike. He said Hugo Ekitike will have a choice to make this summer and a few clubs are after him. If it's between Liverpool and United, in my day it was hard for Liverpool to attract players ahead of United, Arsenal or Chelsea. Now it might be the opposite. If Liverpool are interested, then he will go to Liverpool, a well-run club, which is not the case for United. That would be an easy decision. But if United pay bigger wages and make him the priority, who knows what might happen. It would be a weird one because he's already in the Champions League with Frankfurt no matter what happens. He could move to Liverpool and Chelsea or Arsenal and still be in the Champions League, or he could move to United and argue with Matthias Cunha. Let's wait and see what happens. I did say to you there was one more name in the mix for Harvey Elliott, and Jamie O'Hara has urged Tottenham to sign Harvey Elliott this summer. The Echo ran a piece that said, speaking on TalkSport, the former Spurs midfielder said, I'd have him at Tottenham, 100% I'd have him at Spurs. He'd play on the right and compete with Brennan Johnson and Dejan Kulusevski. Kulusevski is quite a similar player, but I think Harvey Elliott has got something about him. He can play in the number 10, further back, in central midfield, and there's a lot to like. He's only 22. He could definitely play for a team that is playing in Europe. He could. And again, looks like Liverpool won't be short of potential bidders for Harvey Elliott with that £40 million minimum price tag being mentioned. So that's kind of where we're at the minute. We also spoke earlier on about NASSR, as I think it was Ben Jacobs said to keep an eye on them in July. They're looking at Luis Diaz as the number one target. So we'll be seeing 85 to 100 million euro offer on the cards there. And of course, Christian Falk earlier on also said that Bayern Munich are interested in both Luis Diaz and Cody Gakpo. Obviously, they would only be looking to bring in one, but they've had some trouble in the transfer market trying to attract wide players in, so keep an eye on that one as well. Don't think Barcelona are going to come in for Luis Diaz, and again, I don't see a world where Liverpool are looking to up his wages yet. Again, I think he should get a new wage, but it doesn't look like it's happening. And also on Canade, what I'd like to see Liverpool do here, as I mentioned on the stream tonight, is just bring in his replacement, no matter what happens. Just plan for life without him. If he's here for another year, well then push him further down the pecking order, bring in the likes of a Mark A, and then bring in another replacement for the future, whether that's Joel Hatter or somebody else, and just don't let the situation dictate what we're going to be doing next season. If Canade wants to go to Madrid or elsewhere, well then fine, limit his minutes this season by prioritising other players, and yeah, don't worry about him in that regard. That's my take on it for now, but of course, do feel free to let me know your thoughts on this and everything else that we've spoken about. I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. And again, if you want to join the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp community, just scan that QR code there on the screen. QR code there on the screen. And if you want to come and see our last ever live show in Liverpool, Sunday 19th of October, again, you can get your tickets with the QR code on the screen. I will see you guys tomorrow. If I don't see you then, have a wonderful weekend. And thank you again for your support. Much love, my friends. Bye-bye.